Good evening. It's Monday, the 6th of February, and it's time for the news on RIK2. Official contacts and backstage deliberations are intensifying in light of the Second Geneva Conference on Cyprus that will involve security and guarantees and has been scheduled for next month, with a date yet to be confirmed. The UN Chief Special Advisor on Cyprus, Aspan Ida, travelled to Ankara this evening, where he will hold a series of preparatory meetings with Turkish officials. In remarks to the Cyprus news agency, the UN spokesman on the island, Alim Sadiq, said that Ida has been scheduled to meet Turkish Foreign Ministry officials tomorrow and Wednesday. Meanwhile, the top negotiators of the two sides in Cyprus, Andres Mavroyiannis and Ozdil Nami, will be holding talks tomorrow in preparation of the meeting between President Anastasiadis and the Turkish Cypriot leader Mustafa Kemal on Thursday. The primary reason for their meeting, however, is the decision by the two leaders to ask the UN, in consultation with the guarantor powers, to continue the conference on Cyprus at political level in early March. President Anastasiadis, meanwhile, will be convening the National Council of Political Leaders next Monday. The Turkish Cypriot leader appears to have outlined the convergences achieved with President Anastasiadis in a 3-page letter to the so-called House Speaker in the occupied territories, Sibel Seber. In the letter, published in its entirety by Turkish Cypriot daily Havadis, Akinci appears to disclose that the equal vote will only involve elections at federal level. He further notes that executive and legislative authority elections for each constituent state will be conducted on the basis of internal rules of citizenship. The Turkish Cypriot leader further adds that all cabinet decisions will only be implemented after a joint signature by the President and Vice President of the federal government. Akinci also said that major progress had been achieved in the chapters of governance and power sharing, including a decision that the federal cabinet will be made up of 7 Greek and 4 Turkish Cypriots, with numerical equality in the Senate, the Supreme Court, the Civil Service Committee, the Citizenship and Immigration Council, as well as federal administrative and legal committees. EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker reiterated his strong support for the Cyprus issue negotiating effort, with the hope it would lead to a comprehensive settlement for the benefit of all parties concerned. In response to a joint letter by European Parliament member Dimitris Papadimoulis and MEP Dagis Hadjigeorgiou, President Juncker referred to the strong commitment of both leaders, clarifying that the Commission supports political and technical negotiations. Expressing thanks for their letter dated January the 4th, informing him of the state of play in Cyprus talks, Juncker noted that both the Commission and himself strongly support, politically and technically, negotiations between the leaders of the two Cypriot communities to resolve the Cyprus problem under UN auspices, and welcomes the progress and efforts made in this regard, including last month's Geneva conference. Juncker said he was confident of the strong commitment of leaders to bring an end to the long-standing Cyprus issue. French pollster Opinionway published a survey that showed independent Emmanuel Macron resoundingly winning a presidential election runoff against far-right leader Marine Le Pen. The poll showed those two qualifying for the second runoff round, where Macron was seen winning with 65% of votes versus Le Pen on 35%. Le Pen would win the first round on 26%, with Macron on 23%, while the erstwhile favourite Françoise Fillon would come third with 20% but will be eliminated. Thousands of protesters gathered outside a Barcelona court as the former head of the eastern Spanish region of Catalonia went on trial for staging a 2014 informal referendum on independence in breach of a legal order. The poll was carried out without legal backing because the central Spanish government blocked it in the courts, saying it was against the constitution. Artur Mas, who stepped down as regional governor last year, stands accused of disobedience against the state and wrongdoing as a public official. He could face a 10-year ban from public office if found guilty. Now that's how you accessorize. Queen Elizabeth marked a very special occasion today, her Sapphire Jubilee. The Queen's milestone 65th year on the throne was honoured with a beautiful portrait taken by photographer David Bailey. In the photo, the English monarch wears a sky blue gown with beaded embellishments and some stunning sapphire jewellery. The bold necklace and earrings were gifted to her Royal Highness by her father, King George VI, as a wedding gift in 1947. The photograph was taken as part of the Great Campaign in 2014. Elizabeth ascended the throne on February the 6th, 1952. To date, she is the longest reigning living monarch. Now a look at the weather. Clear skies tomorrow. Winds will be light to moderate, northeasterly to southeasterly, force 3 to 4, but turning strong, force 5 in the afternoon over southern and eastern areas. Seas will be slight. Temperatures will rise to 20 Celsius inland and in coastal regions and 11 over the mountains. The depth of snow on Mount Olympus is 65 centimetres with 55 in Troodos Square. That's all from us here. Join us tomorrow for more news in English. Have a very good evening.